Hello everyone, I'm Emma and I'm your storyteller for today. Tonight's chapter is from Terence the Wren and this is chapter 13. Terence was right to feel anxious because the sound he'd heard was indeed the sound of a breaking stick underfoot, and the cat he had originally escaped from when he fled the nest was lurking outside the hedge. He was on the other side of it to his friends, and so thankfully that bought Terence some time to hop to the top and warn them. He hopped furiously now as he felt sure his friends were oblivious, as the sound would be muffled to them by the hedge. In a few more hops, Terence was nearly there. Just one last bramble to go. Terence could see this last hop was going to need to be a good one, as the last bramble was almost out of reach. But it looked much more stable than the tiny brambles that surrounded it, not to mention also with a lot less spikes. So he readied himself and push! Off he hopped. He just made it, but he wasn't balanced, and he wobbled trying to catch his feet on the bramble to steady himself. But it wasn't any good, for the branch was so smooth he couldn't get his feet to lock onto it properly, and no matter how he tried, it wasn't enough. Just as he thought he was about to fall, something exciting happened. Without thinking, Terence did something extraordinary and managed to push himself upright by using his wings. It wasn't a great flap, and it certainly wasn't enough to have got him airborne, but it was a twitch of sorts, and it was enough to push him back up onto his feet. Terence stood there for a second. Had he really just made his wings move? Had they really opened up? He tried again, and it was working. His wings, these wings, were working. Oh my, what a shock! How could this be? So many questions. But there was no time for this now, as Terence had to warn his friends. They were in danger. "Sam! Len!" he called down to them. "There's a cat!" But Len was still snoozing, and Sam didn't seem to hear. Terence could see some berries on the bramble, and so he started pecking them off and launching them down in an attempt to get his friend's attention. First one, then another and another. Terence was working at speed now. Then finally, bop! He got one right on target, and it bopped Len in the centre of his forehead. He jumped up with a start. "What the? Where am I? What's happening?" "Psst!" shouted Terence. "Up here!" Len looked up to see where the missile that had hit him had come from. "Len, it's me!" he shouted, and as he did a little jump, and his little wings did their little flap behind him. Len was in awe. "Your wings!" he said. "Your wings! Sam! Sam! Did you see? Look at Terence! Look at his wings!" But before the celebrations could continue, the cat found a hole through the hedge. And that's the end of tonight's chapter. Night night. See you soon. Sleep tight.